Well, right now we've got two locations. We're in Marble Falls is our primary, our first location, and then Kerrville was our second location that we opened up in 2015.
The Texas Hill Country is one of the most beautiful places on earth. In this podcast, recent Hill Country resident Tom Fox visits with the people and organizations that make this one of the most unique areas of Texas. Join Tom as he explores the people, places, and their activities of the Texas Hill Country.
Today I visit with Judy Miller, president of Outback Patio Furnishings. Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox back for another episode, and today I'm thrilled to have with me Judy Miller, owner of
Outback Patio Furnishings.
Outback Patio Furnishings. Thank you for taking the time to visit with me today, Judy.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
So, Judy, we met at the Business Expo.
We did.
The Kerr County Business Expo, which was held in August. And you had a display there, and we got to talking and learned a little bit about your story. Could you tell us a little bit about the business?
Right now, we've got two locations. We're in Marble Falls is our primary, our first location, and then Kerrville was our second location that we opened up in 2015. And we've been doing this for 22 years.
Who's the we?
Me. My husband and I started it. He actually has his own business, Outback Party Rentals in Marble Falls, so that keeps him pretty busy. It's my team and I that have been doing it, but I've been here the whole 22 years.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Leander area and went to college at Southwest Texas State and then moved to San Antonio after that and worked at US for 13 years.
What'd you do at US?
I was a computer programmer.
So you've been in and around the Hill Country, sounds like all your life.
Absolutely. Yep.
What led to the first store in Marble Falls?
My husband and I decided that we wanted our own business, and we started investigating to figure out what that would be. And I went to a weekend to check out RV park owners and how they operate, and came back from that and said, nope, that's not what we want to do. And my parents lived in Marble Falls, and we had just had a son and wanted our kids to grow up around around their grandparents. And so we wanted to be able to move up to the Hill Country. And I had a friend who was in patio furniture and figured that she could help guide me along the way, which she did. Thank you. And we decided, okay, Marble Falls and Horseshoe Bay area need patio furniture. So that's where we started. And then my son went to college or was getting ready to go to college in 2015. Actually, he graduated in 2014. And all the college bills started coming in, and it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We need a little more income. So we decided, I've always enjoyed Kerrville. We've had lots of family reunions in the Kerrville area and out in Hunt, and just loved this area. And it wasn't so far that I couldn't commute as I needed to. And so we decided to open up a second store.
Marble Falls, this is the Hill Country podcast, and Marble Falls is in the Hill Country, but a different part of the Hill Country from Kerrville. Could you describe that difference, at least in the scenery?
It's actually called the Highland Lakes area. And so it's got Lake Buchanan, Inks Lake, Lake LBJ, and then Marble Falls. So it's all along the chain. So there is some nice hills to the area, but not as dramatic as in the Kerrville area. But it's a lot of lake life is what it is, and we cater to a lot of those folks.
I was going to say that when I think of Marble Falls, I think of a lake resort.
Yeah.
But that's because I grew up in Houston and I didn't realize it was in the Hill Country. But there is a vibrant lake life community in and around Marble Falls.
Absolutely.
What about I've been to Marble Falls a couple of times since I moved to Kerrville, and there's actually a really interesting little kind of arts and crafts scene downtown. They have a really unique little park. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that part of Marble Falls.
Yeah, Marble Falls has really gone through a lot of transformation even since I've been there, and really promoting their downtown area. It's funny because some people want to put a bypass around Marble Falls to get some of the traffic off of 281 that runs near downtown. Is actually one block off of 281, and there's a lot of people that don't want to take the traffic off. There's been a huge push to really promote the downtown area as such, and we've got a lot of wineries that have set up tasting rooms and breweries. We've got pretty good breweries over there, and the whole downtown area has evolved over the last years, and it's a nice area.
For those listening, they have one of the best chocolate shops in Texas as well in downtown Marble Falls. How would you characterize the difference in the resort communities of Marble Falls as opposed to Kerrville and Hunt?
I feel like there's a lot more people in the Kerrville and Hunt area that come to retire here. And while there's a lot of retirees in Marble Falls area, there are a significant amount of second homes. And you've got a lot more transient type atmosphere as well. Not transient, but a lot of lake homes that are part-timers. And Kerrville, it feels to me like there's a lot more people that come here to retire and just stay here. And that's been a difference for us to.
What does that translate to in terms of a retail business?
So for us, one of the things that I feel like we've discovered is it seems in the Marble Falls area, there's a lot more people that, because they're focused on lake life and that vacation type atmosphere, they're buying lots and lots of patio furniture. And here, while we do sell a lot of nice patio furniture, it's a kind of one-time purchase for folks, and they create beautiful backyards and patios, but it's just a little bit different feel.
So Kerr County has actually 30% of its population is over 65, and that's a pretty dramatic demographic for any county. Do you have, and I'm 65, so I can say, do you have people my age coming in and kind of the same as people who might be a little bit younger, or the second home owners that tend to be in Marble Falls area?
Absolutely. A lot of our population is in their 60s because they've created this lifestyle for themselves where they're finally getting to retirement and can enjoy their outdoors, and they have some money to do that. And yeah, we have a lot of more mature customers.
I'll take that, proudly accept that. We're sitting here in your store, and I'm going to say just a fabulous showroom.
Thank you.
So could you just describe it for our audience a little bit?
We've got a lot of different settings, and that's what we focus on, is creating those settings for you to walk in and say, that would look great on my back patio, and that's really comfortable. We carry a lot of really great quality. I determined early on I don't really like having problems. And when you buy lesser quality products, you end up having problems. So we carry really good brands. They're not going to be the least expensive in the area, but they are going to be quality that lasts for a lifetime. And so we've got great chairs that are very comfortable. We've got dining, your deep seating, pieces for your ledge on your swimming pool, chaise lounges. We've got all kinds of stuff. One of the things that sells a whole lot for us is the Brazesta, which is made out of recycled milk jugs and water bottles. The neat thing about that is, and in this area it sells really well because it doesn't require cushions, and it's heavy. So even in the winds that we experience around here, typically don't have any problem with those blowing around.
So as I mentioned, relocated here from Houston. Houston, certainly we have patio furniture on our back deck. But when I got here, I saw people that would have 2, sometimes 3 different separate locations in their backyard. And I don't mean a 100-acre ranch, an acre or half an acre where they would have patio furniture. They would have a fire pit and perhaps chairs around that, and then would have a longer dining table or something like that. Is that something that's common, you see?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because you're creating that whole outdoor living vibe. And that means everything. You want to eat outside. You want to watch TV outside now. And in Texas, except for the summer, you can usually do that year-round. Even in the winter, people take their blanket out and sit outside and read a book. It's very common. It's an easy way to expand the living space with your house. And outdoors, like I said, Texas is a great place to be. Now, I get it. Houston, it's a little more humid, so you may want not as much time outside, but in the hill country, you got beautiful weather.
That we do, and for my money, 0 humidity, although you probably think there's more humidity here than you care for. Do you do custom work for a client who might come in and say, I'm looking to do 1, 2, or 3 things?
As far as custom furniture, we customize and we do special orders all the time. So if a customer likes a particular chair, but they need a different finish or they need different cushion color, yes, we can do that. I will tell you the last 2 years have been pretty challenging as far as getting furniture. Lead times used to be 4 to 6 weeks, and now they're 4 to 6 months. And so that gets real frustrating. One of the things that we've done is we built an additional large warehouse where we never stopped ordering, but we changed our philosophy on ordering and we got a little bit more neutral as far as coloring and that kind of thing, so that it could appeal to the masses, such that if you come in, we may have that chair in 2 or 3 different colorways that you could order or you could buy and have delivered within the next few days, because people don't like waiting so long. And I don't blame them. I'm tired of waiting too. But yes, we do custom. We can recover cushions if they have existing furniture and just need a refresh. We can absolutely do those things.
You bring up a good point that I want to follow up on, which is not what happened during the pandemic, but are you starting to see supply chains loosen up a little bit? Are the supplies coming in a little quicker now, and people started coming back to the store in greater numbers than you saw during the pandemic?
No, during the pandemic, it was mind-blowing the number of people that were in.
Really?
Yeah, and that's because more people were staying home. And they weren't taking vacations. And so instead of spending that money on vacations, they were spending it on creating a staycation atmosphere or working atmosphere that they can be outside as well. So especially the first year was crazy. Even the second year was pretty crazy as far as the amount of volume we were turning out. And we had a pretty good inventory going into the pandemic. And so we fared really well. It was during this past year that we were running really low on furniture, and our manufacturers were just not being able to deliver. And I was talking to one of my team members, and we realized that this last month, gates must have opened because we got so many shipments in. And so that was a nice thing. And so some of our manufacturers are loosening up and being able to bring their lead times back down, but a lot of them are still at least 4 months out. I feel really bad for O.W. Lee. They moved to Texas right in the middle of the pandemic, and they've had a very tough time getting back up to speed. It's a beautiful piece of furniture, and I hate that I can't carry more of it, but I just can't get it fast enough. So anyway, but yeah, so we are experiencing, it feels like a little bit of a slowdown over the past 2 years, but we're still doing higher numbers than we were pre-pandemic. So we feel really good about where we're at.
Was the experience of the Marble Falls similar to the store here in Kerrville, or perhaps even greater because of the greater amount of short-term rentals that's available in the lake area?
During the pandemic?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Marble Falls does blow it away. But Kerrville, we had great sales in Kerrville as well. Very pleased. So...
Well, Judy, unfortunately, we're near the end of our time, but before we leave, if someone wanted more information on Outback Patio Furniture, where would they go online, and where is the store in a bricks and mortar?
Great. OutbackPatioFurnishings.com is our website, and our location is 1000 Sidney Baker Street South. So we are across the river and next to Texas Hill Country Bank. And we'd love for everybody to come out and...
You should certainly come out and look at the store. I can't decide whether I'm going to bring my wife here or not.
Oh, now you better.
It's fabulous. My fear is she'll go crazy.
Oh.
So I don't know which way to go. And I also wanted to compliment you on your setup and exhibit at the Business Expo. I thought it was one of the best.
Oh, thank you very much.
It stood out, very colorful. Obviously, you and your staff were very knowledgeable in helping customers, but I thought you guys really did an outstanding job on that.
Thank you so much. We've enjoyed being a part of that for several years now.
Thanks for taking the time to sit down and visit with me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This is Tom Fox again. If you're in Marble Falls or Kerrville, I hope you'll check out Outback Patio Furniture. They have a great display, and Judy's a wonderful person to visit with. I hope you will join us again for another episode of the Hill Country Podcast and the now award-winning Hill Country Podcast. Also, we have recently joined the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network. So check out that site, the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network, for some great podcasts about the Texas Hill Country. And of course, it's the only network dealing with the Texas Hill Country in the podcast format. This is Tom Fox. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to visiting with you again.